All right, everybody, and welcome to a brand new series. I think, to the best of our knowledge, this series does not exist anywhere on the YouTubes right now, and that is reviewing subscribers' shows. I am William. Alongside me for this video is Ethan. We are in the thick of summer, man. It is hot, it is humid. How are you holding up?
Dude, it's bad out. No, I mean, once the sun goes down a teeny bit, once you get down to like that 7 p.m. range, that 8 p.m. range, glorious days, dude. Right now, I mean, I feel like I feel like I'm going crazy a little bit. I feel like every time I go into like a building or something, it's just not AC'd enough. And I feel like slowly my mind, the longer I'm in that building, it's just, I'm going insane. So it's, it's just kind of, just the luck of the draw. But hey, it could be, frigid cold in the middle of show choir season, trying to get places and you can't. I mean, you're hearing stories about trailers falling off the road. It could be that season. It's not, so I'll take this to the best of my advantage. Hey, we're coming straight off of, by the time that we're recording this, coming off of a great holiday weekend. July 4th was just a little bit ago, and crazy enough, August is around the corner. So it's unbelievable school starting back up. So why not take advantage of what everyone else is doing in the country that loves show choir and just some watch and reminisce on some old show choir. So I thought this was a great idea, and I'm glad that we're taking part, Will.
Absolutely. We tossed it out to our subscribers and to fans who wanted to subscribe. And we said, hey, drop us your show link and we'll watch it to stave off some of the summer show choir boredom. So this first one comes to us from at Jeffrey Johansson 9477. So thank you for this submission. And it is Des Moines Christian Light Ink.
Nice.
Ethan, it is a well-known fact that you competed against literally everybody in high school. I mean, you were going to New England, Ohio, Fort Madison, Iowa, very exotic locales.
Those were very exotic places.
Did you ever compete against Des Moines Christian?
No. I definitely did not compete against Des Moines Christian.
Okay.
I don't think I've gone up against anyone. That's a lie. Anyone from Iowa besides?
You literally competed in Iowa.
Yeah, but besides that competition, I don't think I've gone up against anyone from Iowa personally. Never gone up against Johnston. Never gone up against the Inks. That's Ankanese for short, if you didn't know.
Noted Polk County nickname expert Ethan Parker on the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, but I've never competed against Des Moines Christian. I've heard a lot about them, and I've heard that they're a pretty strong choir. I feel like they're always in that podium or reaching to podium range. However, I know they go to a bunch of really tough competitions where Iowa is just one of the toughest states to compete anywhere. So it's really, really hard to make your voice be heard. However, they do it because clearly I know about them, and if I know about them, then shoot, I mean they're doing something right. So I'm excited to see the show. Have you seen the show, Will?
I have not seen this show, but I did see Des Moines Christian at the UNL Midwest Cup in 2023. Okay. They did make finals there. They were a little bit outgunned in finals, I'm not going to lie, but that was about the peak of the Lincoln East to Lincoln Southwest rivalry. So there's a lot of good action on the stage that day. UNL Midwest Cup 2023 may make an appearance in a later episode in this series. So just if you're watching this several weeks after this originally released, little Easter egg perhaps as you watch through this series. But without further ado, we are going to show the ballad and we are also going to show the closer. I think Ethan and I are going to shut up and let the action on stage do the talking, and we'll be back with you in about 6-ish minutes.
Do you wish you could see Is anyone worthy? Is anyone whole? Is anyone able to break the seal and open the scroll? anyone whole? Is anyone able to break the seal and open the scroll? From every people and tribe, every nation and tongue, He has made us a kingdom and praise to God to reign with the sun. Is He worthy? Is He worthy? Is He worthy? Till my trophies at last I lay down, I will flee to the old rugged cross, and exchange it someday for a song. He is
All right, we will move to the closer.
When the band strikes the end of the night, strangers no more. I'll dance with everybody and hear that door.
All right. Des Moines Christian Lightning 2026. Ethan, thoughts off rip?
No, yeah, that was solid. I like that a lot. starting with the ballad. Starting with the ballad. It's like, sorry, I was trying to collect all my thoughts. Starting with the ballad, I felt like they had really good dynamics. I felt like, um, and I know it's kind of hard, especially when you try to watch a show choir show over, a stream like what we're doing. You don't really capture the full depth of every single note or whatever they're singing. However, like you can tell that when they got quiet, that it was a real intimacy part. Like it truly like meant something, and they made it known that hey, like there's a reason why we're getting low. And I thought when they did crescendo into the upcoming notes, I thought it was really a really good touch. Yeah, I thought the ballad was really powerful, and honestly, it was actually kind of impressive. And again, Iowa, right? So I mean, it's how things are done over there. You could quite literally see the vowel shapes from the camera this far back. And I thought that was really impressive, especially dropping the jaw. I thought that was really impressive. Like in those moments, you could tell like they really put work into that. And clearly it showed out. It was a beautiful ballad. Um, the one thing that kills me every time though is kind of like the choir hands that go crazy. I will say, watching it though, I did appreciate because I didn't notice this like until they did it. Like I didn't know that they had boxes on top of the risers. So when they stepped up on them and they were like in that big moment, and they were a little more theatrical with the hand movements and stuff like that. And I thought that was kind of a nice touch. However, I always personally, and coming from a Dwight Jordan group, right? I mean, we like where I've done like real choreography in a ballad before. Not always like my favorite moments ever. But like I feel like arms can be too much at times, personally. Um, like unless you're truly feeling the moment, it almost feels fake in some sort of way. Which, again, I'm watching this from a video, and I was not in the room. And I truly, and that changes everything perception wise, right? However, I feel like there's only been like two groups all the time I've ever seen where they were able to put both hands up at one time and like praise the heavens. Rest in peace to Cater Elite Energy. But they were definitely one of those groups where it was like you could do whatever you want. Clearly, you're feeling it. Um, I don't know. And this is not against Des Moines Christian. I mean, so many schools do this. It's just a more of a me little like what do you call it? Not an itch. What do you call it? Ick. People call it icks. Icks.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like a me personal ick. And yeah, it's coming from a guy who literally did beat choreo in a ballad one time. So I guess that's what goes so far. Before I go on the closer, do you have thoughts on the ballad, Will?
It was just a nice, good, solid ballad. Classic ballad formation at the beginning with kind of that open triangle. I really like the tone and blend. You mentioned the dynamics. I really like the tone and blend there, especially for those male voices. I thought, compared to the closer, that they definitely shine in the ballad. And also a little Alan Jackson action with that old rugged cross.
Yeah.
I will always campaign for more 90s country in show choir. We had Mount Zion doing a Randy Travis song this year. Show designers or directors watching this, if anyone wants to do Travis Tritt, Keith Whitley, anyone else in that kind of period genre, please send me your shows because I will enthusiastically watch them and click the like button every time.
Love it. Yeah, and then for the closer, it was just a really well done closer, and especially in the region that Iowa is, they all kind of have these type of closers where it's very energetic and the layers are really prevalent. And I feel like the layers really made up majority of the closer. Like you look over here, the risers were more doing up actions, and then you look on the ground and the guys are on their knees. It's like, okay, yeah, like they're creating a really cool visual here. And honestly, I thought that their vocal quality. Now again, I'm watching on a video from video on a video, so it's definitely different. However, honestly, I didn't think that their vocal quality really truly dipped. I mean, yeah, it is naturally just gonna dip because they're gonna be more tired, right? However, I still thought they finished the show strong, and I was actually kind of really impressed by that. And of course, I think that the costumes were phenomenal. I like blue on guys with white shirt. I thought that's a clean look. Oh, and that reminds me, I saw that the boys were in suspender or in the ballad. They're in suspenders with a purple shirt. I have once wore suspenders and a purple shirt on a show choir stage, so that brought me back to those good old days. So, yeah, I thought that was a very well done. I shouldn't say show. I should say very well done. 2 numbers. That makes me want to watch the full show.
Absolutely. I do want to talk about the choreo as well. I mean, when you have a closer that the refrain is dance with everybody, you have high expectations to live up to, but a lot of classic Midwest show choir ripples, aux percussion on a lot of those choreo hits, which I know is something I really enjoyed as a performer in high school. So kudos to the band for adding those in, because that really is only something you can do after the choreo is in, right? So sometimes it's a bit of a squeeze to do that. Also, if I have my information right, this was a song by Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors and the National Parks, 2 alternative bands that I follow in my personal music listening. Don't see either of them a ton on the show choir stage. So I guess I'm batting 2 for 2 on good artists for song choices that I like hearing. I'm going to kind of tie that into the show design. I think this was a revival show, which is a very big part of American evangelical history. And while that is not my tradition, it is something that a school like Des Moines Christian is certainly uniquely suited to do. And I've watched my fair share of period shows this year. I've watched Burroughs' 70s show. I've watched Homewood's 90s show this year. Wasn't really the biggest entertainment fan of either of those shows. And I think I just came to grips at the end of March, like maybe I'm just not a period show kind of guy. But this, at least through 2 songs, I absolutely like. I'll rock this. A lot, of course, the song choices help, but I do want to throw some kudos to the show design there. I think it was tasteful and done in a set of circumstances that set the students up for success.
For sure. Those are good points.
Well, that is Des Moines Christian Light Ink. And if we are doing 3 shows on this video, we are going to be in this for about an hour. So this is going to turn into a little bit of a long form project. Our next one comes from @MEPay10. So thank you for being an early subscriber and getting this comment in. Ethan, this is a show that will be very familiar to folks who have watched a lot of other homeroom content, read a lot of other homeroom articles. It is Gretna Revolution 2026, The Ride. Ethan, did you ever compete against Gretna in high school?
I don't think so.
Have you ever seen a Gretna show live?
No, I have not. No, I have personally not have watched a Gretna show live. Or have I? I don't think so.
You were like an hour away from Chesterton this year.
Yeah, I didn't go.
And you didn't go.
I was too busy.
Well, this is a show that I have seen live. Those of you who know me know that I'm going to go into my standard spiel of, Gretna, far and away one of the programs that I have the most respect for of the post-COVID new powerhouses, genuinely phenomenal people. I've said that verbatim many times on different videos on this channel. So we are just going to get straight into the show. We are going to mix it up and we are going to do a character number. And then we are going to do the ballad, and then Ethan and I will reconvene and share our thoughts after that.
She's flying away. Set every course from the world to see. She's got to be free. Free to face the life that she's meant to Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska. New Hampshire, New Jersey, She's ready, a wild free. If she could fly like birds on high, she'd ride the sky. And now the nations of the world travel by any Londonderry in just 15 months.
United States, China, India, the side of Sri Lanka too.
And in Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Egypt, and now she flew back.
Europe, for Spain, Monaco, and a chance to go to Italy shore.
To know my beloved.
Ports, how could there be any more? She got back into Germany, so many sights to see that not in the UK. And while England was fun, the stress had begun, and she started to run out of days.
I'm out of time. The wind is sharp, the path is steep. Memories of home keep, but I can't sleep. I'm not gonna make it home. I'm not gonna make it home. Listen to the wind blow. See the mighty eagles soar. Feel the sun on your face. Trust that you find your way. And when the night is cold and dark, know that you have fire in your heart. Be strong, be brave, let courage lead the way. Stand tall and know who you are. World heart, world soul, roam free to the unknown. And know that you have everything you need to be fearless.
All right. Gretna Revolution 2026. Ethan, you are the one who has not seen this show before. What'd you think?
Solid, no doubt. I the first thing that pops into my head when I saw that, I mean, it's so extremely hard to do. Going from, the character fun number that they did into, kind of a somber feeling ballad, or just a completely different change of tone. You go from your very upbeat, what's it called? Is it animatronics? No, not animatronics. Is it
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs, sorry. You go from, that extremely upbeat number, naming all the countries, and then all of a sudden it just goes, it hits a point with the band, and it's like, okay, then she walks out, and it's like, whoa, what a mood shift that created. I thought that was really impressive. Honestly, Will, quick take time. at this point, now we're in the summer, right? So, I mean, this changes all the time. Personally, as a spectator, William Soqui, do you think it's more beneficial to have backdrop or lights at this point? Because I know my stance.
And this was something I was going to talk about because I was raised in Wisconsin where a lot of comps still have no special lights rules. Like house lights just are going to be what they're going to be. They're going to be up in between shows and they're going to be down during the show, and there will not be any special lighting. And then I look at shows like that and I'm like, you can do a lot of cool stuff with lights because they're like groups that just buy light bars for the status symbol, dime a dozen, right? Don't do that. There are plenty of other good ways to spend money. Things like that where you can more effectively control the mood of the show with lighting. I am still pro tasteful backdrop. I think in order I would go number 1, a tasteful backdrop. Number 2, lights, tasteful lights, and then number 75 billion, your own custom risers that you have to bring in. Because if you notice, Gretna's risers were extras. They did not require the original set of risers to be taken off. We'll do a pet peeves video at some point in time, but you just got 3 of them right there. Light bars, stupid light towers that don't do anything and that also never work.
Especially
And
if you do anything.
yeah, and also backdrops that take a gazillion years to put together. But anyways,
I've never experienced that.
No, none of us have ever, which is why we're not naming names. But
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean,
that's aggressive stuff aside.
Yeah, like, I'm in the same boat. I honestly, I'm to the point where it's like if you're a budget person, you know, and you're like, hey, do you want to spend this much money on a backdrop or this much money on lights? And it's like, if it's enough to get the right lights and, you know, monitoring system or whatnot, I think I'm picking the lights. I think I'm picking the lights at this point. I don't know. Like, for example, going a little off track here, but like John Burroughs, for example, had an amazing backdrop. I thought, I mean, in the scheme of like it just capturing everything that they were doing. However, the lights made the show on the sides. And I mean, that's almost every California show I've ever seen. I feel like, you know, Los Alamitos does incredible lights. Lafayette Jefferson, when they only put 30 or 40 kids on stage and they light up the stage the way they do, it's impressive. It almost transports you into a different place in which that's kind of hard to do if you have a stationary structure. Which, I mean, we have seen non-stationary structures. Who was it who had like the Marysville when they did the house and it flipped upside down for the party or dancing on the ceiling? I
I don't think I've watched that show.
Oh my goodness. What year was that? Oh, it was 2022 or 23 or something. And they had like a house shape backdrop that lit up. And then when they did Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel Richie, it flipped over. It was pretty impressive. Anyway, I mean, Gretna is just unbelievable. And honestly, I seeing shows like this really makes you appreciate lights. And I feel like the way how lights are really making a run on show choir right now. And also, I mean, Stephen Todd.
No more words needed.
Right? I mean, when I think of Stephen Todd, I think of, first off, all the amazing groups that he's able to do in 1 year. I mean, and honestly, it's just so impressive because when I also think of Stephen Todd, I think the second thing I think of is arms and how they are the hardest thing to clean I think they're the hardest thing to clean choreo wise is matching arms, but yet they do. It's all on syncopation. It's all on beat. It's impressive how they do it, and it's also impressive how other groups interpret Stephen Todd. Because when you watch, I mean, when we've talked about this, when you watch Brandon, for example, that's a different kind of Stephen Todd than it is at Gretna. And it's nothing's too crazy. I mean, yes, they do the same moves and stuff, but it's just the way that they interpret it and then they put it on stage. And I feel like that the way that they do it is so unique, even though it's the same choreographer as many other amazing groups. it's just so hard to clean arms, Will. It's just so hard to clean arms, and the fact
I've
that
been there on that top riser getting yelled at for not
Yeah.
having my arms at the right angle. I know that pain all too well.
and if it's that clean, of course you're gonna get bumps up in points on the score sheets, right? I mean, just incredible work, and of course the props, amazing. I thought were great touches, and how in sync they were. Even the little things like, I feel like during the quartet, or not the quartet, yeah, it might have been a quartet that came out there, or the 4 people who were sitting in the front, and they had their own choreo, even though it was small. Like it was pretty prevalent, like them jumping up and down every time they sang or didn't sing, or I don't know, watching a video on a video. So I couldn't really tell what was in sync, but it was impressive nevertheless. And I mean, Gretna is one of those top dogs.
Absolutely. Well, your first thought when watching that was the transition from the character number to the ballad. My first thought was that you should absolutely subscribe to Homeroom Show Choir on YouTube
Retweet.
and like this video. If you are still watching 33 minutes in, then you owe it to yourself to subscribe and like the video. It's not even doing it for us. It's doing it for your own sake.
Do it for the people.
Yeah, I just want to talk about this character medley. This absolutely captivated me both times when I saw it in person. I will admit, first time that I heard those opening piano notes to Come Sail Away, I was like, oh no, like what are we doing here? Because, you know, Show Choir World went on a run with boat shows in 2025, and I heard a lot of Come Sail Away in 2025. But what I really liked about this Come Sail Away is that it was tastefully rewritten. There were no boats in sight. They made it work for the bike ride, but they still kept the original spirit of the song intact, because I feel like there are certain shows or certain regions that really parody a lot of stuff, and like maybe like you'll recognize a horn melody or a guitar melody from a song, but you just can't place it because they've changed like every single word to make it fit what they want it to do. There was still enough of the original Come Sail Away here that it was easily recognizable to even people who are not in the trenches watching every single Lighthouse show from the year 2020-2025, which is about 17. But it was just really in that sweet spot, in that pocket, and I appreciated that. We had a horn-driven arrangement in Beyond the Sea. More show choirs need more horns. I'm just going to put out there. Love that. So shout out the Pit Rippers, their band, for doing that. And then Yako's World from Animaniacs. Look, whoever designed this show had to be a child of the 90s. There's just no other explanation, because Animaniacs, and specifically Yako's World today, like, is a YouTube meme. Like, you go and you search up Yako's World, and like there are edits of like, you know, tempo increases every time he says another country, or like Yako's World, but it's only countries that existed in 1994 but don't exist today, right? Or, you know, Yako's World, but it's all of the continents and cities and territories that Yako said that weren't countries, right? Like it's a meme. And a lot of times when we see show choir try to approach memes, it doesn't go very well. It's very easy to ride off straight into cringe territory, but this I thought was really well done. Not a fan of a lot of rap solos in show choir. I don't know if you could call this a rap solo. It was a nice, fast, rhythmic talking section. And just having 4 people do it instead of trying to have the whole group do it. You know, because again, in high school, my choir sang verses of Ice Ice Baby, and we struggled to get that out all year long. So having a quartet on mics do it, great choice. There's just something about the Corn Belt in the way they sing. Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, like that region specifically for show choir, just completely unparalleled in vocal quality on a consistent basis. Like, obviously there are elite groups from every region, but on a region by region basis, you cannot beat the Corn Belt for vocal quality and just the ballad with so many different little sections to it. Absolutely loved it. I'm never going to say anything bad about Gretna. So yeah.
Animaniacs made a comeback, dude. They got a reboot.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to pull Yako's World because you were watching the Animaniacs reboot.
I don't know. It might make you look.
I don't think so.
You said something else that I was going to touch on.
You should have a pen and paper to write this down.
Yeah, I know. Oh no, I mean, yeah. So when they started naming states, I mean, everyone knew that they were going to do something when you get to Nebraska, whether it was I don't know, but you knew that they were going to do something. However,
Yeah.
I thought the way they did it was very tasteful. I thought sit on a really heavy chord for a little bit and let it rain for a little bit, let it simmer and then continue. I thought that was a nice touch, of course.
Absolutely. And an extensive list of groups that beat that show this year: Linn-Mar, Carmel, Franklin Central, cleaned house in the state of Nebraska. So congratulations to Gretna on another great show. Already wondering what's up next for a lot of groups, but specifically these ones. And let's just say that our social media admins are checking a lot of Instagram stories right now to see whatever show hints they can find as we are in mid-July. We have one more show to review in this part 1. This one comes to us from @Cartbean. I believe this was our very first submission, very first comment under this post. So of course we had to get that show in our part 1 of the series. And that show is Daniel Hand Vibe 2026, Murder on the Orient Express. This show very successful in the New England circuit, several grand championships. Ethan, third time has got to be the charm. Did you ever compete against Daniel Hand Vibe in high school?
Very much so. I definitely competed against Daniel Hand Vibe. It on their turf too. Well, is it really their turf? Different state, but still.
I think we can just call it New England. Yeah.
Turf. But yeah, I mean, the show was incredible. I believe that they're undefeated in 2019 until they went to Andover. And you watch, I mean, crazy. We're actually talking about this, like as of we are recording, like it was just the 10-year anniversary of Stranger Things, the premiere of Stranger Things. And the fact that we're talking about this right now, what a red line theory thing we got going on here. But no, yeah, so they did a Stranger Things show and it was unbelievable. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch Stranger Things like when it came out. So like I watched that and I was like, this show must be fire, because that was unbelievable what they did on stage. And Daniel Hand always is just a very, very theatrical school or choir. And they put it like, I've always kind of called them, they're a California school out in, Connecticut. And that's the same thing with like Carroll. They're a California school in, Fort Wayne or in Indiana. I mean, so it's like, it's just, I love it. I love how different it is. And honestly, it's very unique to the scene because yes, there are other theatrical shows, but just not to the level that Daniel Hand does it out in the Northeast. You have Waltham, who just goes balls to the wall. They just peerless energy the whole way throughout. That's one of their top competitors, and it's just kind of crazy the contrast between the two. But yeah, I mean, Daniel Hand Vibe, I have not seen anything from this year, so I'm excited. I even think back to the Daniel Hand show that had the stage that rocked. Was it a Noah's Ark show? Oh, like the back of it rocked back and forth like a ship in the ocean. I don't know. I might be making things up. Maybe I'm not.
I'm not sure.
If you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments.
In the comments.
But I think they had a riser that literally rocked up and down. It'd be crazy.
I know regrettably little New England ball. So
they also had the Sam Western year that won a homie or two. That was a good show. Any others off the top of my head I remember? We're in the middle of July. I'm cooked. I'm washed. But yeah, I mean, they just put on amazing shows, and I'm excited to see this.
All right. We have an opener and a ballad for you guys. So Ethan and I will share our thoughts after we see a couple songs from Daniel Hand Vibe 2026.
Shout out to at Andover. What are the chances?
But that's how it goes. Millions of people live in this boat. And who's not hearing life's bitter share? Going off the rails on a crazy trail.
That poor little Daisy was shot.
The Colonel Armstrong's daughter, kidnapped and led to slaughter. Her lifeless body going chunk.
She died in New York sun. She died without a trace.
She should be made a saint.
She thought that girl was gone. It all carried on. It's a nightmare. It's a constant
Taking this great shot from us. Let's be on a song.
I know that things are going wrong for me. You've got to listen to my words. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Could be instead. All you get is kind of on. Some animals turn.
kill a simple man. They better go dead.
I know a way to net it.
How?
Killing them, murder, murder. On my doorstep, murder, murder. So much doorstep, murder, murder. So much doorstep, killing, murder. You go.
And a ballad.
Something that makes me want to
I'm prepared for this. I never choose to miss. But I feel like storm's coming. If I'm gonna make it through this
How do I breathe when you're not here? I'm suffocating. I wanna feel love run through my blood. Tell me, is this where I give it all now? I have to risk it all. 'Cause the nights are no more.
Okay, Murder on the Orient Express. Daniel Hand Vibe 2026. That one just hit you right in the face, didn't it?
Yeah, vocally it was really impressive. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm also trying to collect my thoughts here. It was very impressive how they may not have been singing words. However, if they were just doing oohs and ahs or whatever it was truly impactful. I felt like those notes are yeah, I mean, people might be like, those are easy notes to hit. However, to do it in the unison, in the way that they do it, and the way that how much depth that they had, the harmonies. I felt like they had their high, like when they reached their peaks, it was beautiful, beautiful notes. And that went for the dance number as well. So that wasn't just the ballad. That I thought that was throughout. Oh, the opener. My bad. I lost track of what number it was. Yeah, in the opener, if you're a judge, I'm bouncing all over the place, but if you're in the opener and you're a judge, you're like, okay, what's my first impression gonna be, right? You sit there and they come out with that sound, and it's like, whoa, that's impressive. They really want it. Are they able to withstand throughout? Which you're gonna have to see the rest of the video to find out, right? But I mean, in the ballad, it did, and it was really impressive how it carried forward from the opener to the ballad. And I honestly, I want to see the rest of the show now, because I want to see how long it lasted and how, if they were able to keep it up. Soloist was really impressive in the ballad. I thought that was an awesome solo for them. And I thought the choreography in the opener was a nice touch too. I mean, especially when you're doing, you're trying to be on theme, correct? So it's like you have to have those movements, those interchangeable parts. I mean, you're on the railroad, right? So you're constantly have to be moving in those transitions. And I thought that's really a really cool layer. It was almost like a square, almost. It was like a loose square with the corners rounded off, right? And they're walking around and they're going up and down and they're looking around. And I thought that they told a story for the most part. William, there were screens. Were they too distracting for you, or does it go down in your book? What's going on?
I'm not going to take the bait and talk about the screens.
I thought the screens were decent. There weren't they weren't too much, and and I thought the backdrop was pretty cool for the most part.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question now, since you just asked me a question. Yeah, that was nearly a 4-minute opener chart, or like a 4+, maybe even closer to 4.5-minute opener chart. Do you think that the opener is the time to do a longer 4+ minute chart? Is that the time in the show to do it?
I don't know. I feel like maybe it is. Only if, now granted, it's when you have the most energy, right? Supposed to, right? I don't know what groups are doing in the warm-up groups nowadays. They can be going crazy. However, I mean, that's when you're supposed to have the most energy. So if you're going to go that long, and that's the moment to do it, unless you really wanted to prove to the judges, like, hey, we got so much left in the tank at the very end. That's when you do a chart that long. However, I mean, opener, I mean, if you want to play into group strengths, it probably needs to be in the opener.
Yeah, because again, you said almost exactly what I was going to say. Just the amount of vocal sound that they were producing for the amount of movement that was going on in that opener just nuts. And the diction was insane too. And this is a group that is now an April James group. We have Sam Mulligan as part of this choreography team as well. Two folks who are not known for letting the performers sit back and not do much on the choreo side of things. A lot of those shows are very involved on the visual side of things. And so just the vocal quality that you get right at the opener. I tend to agree with you that the opener is perhaps the best time to do a longer chart. I mean, I have seen an 8+ minute chart, and I don't recommend doing that at any point during this show. I just think that's a little long for both your performers and your audience members. But I think there are, a lot of people experimenting with show design right now in, 4-spot ballads, 5-spot ballads, 2-spot ballads, character pieces before the ballad, character pieces after the ballad, whatever.
I am a fan. You did not. No one asked. I am a huge fan of a ballad before the closer. Just so everybody knows.
All right, Ethan Parker, noted 5-spot ballad fan. But
I am a supporter of the 5-spot ballad.
I think, okay, we are way in the weeds here, but I will actually say that I have a good level of respect for groups that do a 5-spot ballad, because even just the choice in doing that signifies that you think that you're going to have the discipline and vocal energy to do a good ballad at the 5-spot.
Yeah.
And a ballad, a 5-spot ballad, a lot of times works really well show design wise to either wrap up conflict or to leave just that last little bit that you're going to resolve in the closer, right? So it works really well show design wise. The problem is that a lot of groups just are not disciplined enough to do it well. But for the groups that do it well, I have so much respect for it, because it means that, clearly either, you did everything full out and then you just did a 5-spot ballad, which sounded good, or you have so much fitness that you somehow decided to lay back over your first 4 songs. Then you cranked out a great 5-spot ballad because you had enough vocal energy left. So I can take them or leave them, but to the groups that do them well, I think I have more appreciation for them than perhaps groups that do more 2-spot ballads, because they, perhaps are hedging against a vocal fall off in the back half of the set.
Yeah, I also just feel like it's like it's almost a mind game. Now I'm thinking of like a very basic person view, right? But like you watch a show and you're like, did the ballad already happen? Like, I mean, we've all thought that at some point. Like, wait, did we already do the ballad? And then the fact that it comes later in the show, you're like, holy cow! Like, how are they able to, do what they're doing? It's mind tricks. It is mind tricks. And personally, I mean, I could be different from other people, but I know I've definitely thought that before. Like, has the ballad happened yet? Did I miss it? Like, because so much is going on and they're doing a great job. So the fact that some groups are able to like not close that way, but get right at the end there, it's impressive.
For sure. Well, we have reviewed 3 shows. We have watched Des Moines Christian, we have watched Gretna, and we have watched Daniel Hand. However, we still have several more comments from our original batch to go. I don't think we're going to be taking any new submissions right now as we work through the submissions that we have, but we definitely plan to continue this series. Be on the lookout for a part 2, probably a part 3, heck, maybe even a part 4 sometime in the future. Anything to get rid of these summer show choir blues. Of course, Ethan and I not being involved anymore. We don't have vocal camp in summer. We don't have choreo camp. We don't have no team building. We don't have anything. Our only job is to provide.
95.
Yeah. Our only job is to create good content for the fans. So thank you very much for watching. Leave any thoughts you might have in the comment section. We're doing something different, a little non-podcast video on the YouTube channel here. So let us know what you think. Obviously, make sure to like and subscribe and buy our merch and follow us on all the social channels and all the other plugs that usually come at the end of the video. But for Ethan, I am William. Have a great day, and whatever you do, keep watching show choir shows.
No doubt.